I was thinking in Hollywood the camera very often lies, and obviously when it comes to magic, it's hard to sometimes tell that, when all the smoke and the CGI is going on. Was it important to you? I know there's a lot of magicians involved with the movie to sort of, this better add up, this better kind of, the audience comes with us because we live in a time when anything can happen on camera.
Yeah, exactly. I think, when you're doing magic in a movie, you're almost at a disadvantage because magic is something best performed live or something because the way magic is most impressive when you're, showing somebody something that's not really there. But when you're doing it in a movie, everybody's already seen something like that. So it's not that impressive. So what we tried to do in this movie is have all the magic be real, be practical, not use computer effects because then it looks more authentic. So stuff that would have taken a lot shorter, and we chose to kind of go the longer way and have it be more authentic looking.
I know I spoke with your director about this movie, and he mentioned the fact that someone like David Copperfield was around for a few months, and you also had, David Blaine, or I would always call him Whitey because I've never really understand why he even bothers to do certain stunts. But you also had the Waterford's finest, Keith Barry, and I'm wondering whether in all that time you got to a point where you could maybe handle a kids party. I don't know whether you actually sort of decide, I'm going to learn some of these tricks. I've got to learn how to genuinely move these cards around.
I learned a lot. I practiced a lot, but I think probably at my peak I could do a 15-second party because that's how much magic I know. I play a character who's like the greatest sleight of hand magician in the world, and the guys who taught me have been practicing since they were 5 years old, 8 hours a day, every day. I think like a lot of kids, I don't know if it's like the same in Ireland, but like a lot of kids in America at least, like you get a magic kit when you're 5 years old, and usually like a new puppy, you stop being interested in it a week later. So, the guys that have really persevered are really amazing and have been practicing since they were that young.
And I had to assume, with David Bowie in Labyrinth, when he's doing all his crystal ball kind of juggling, I'm presuming the hand tricks were often cutaways to various different other individuals who could.
Yeah. I mean, to our credit in the movie, it's still real effects. It's just a different person's hand.
When you did To Soar with Love last year, the way you were sort of channeling Woody Allen, as all Woody Allen movies sort of have a central character that's kind of him. And then obviously with Social Network, there was a bit of the channeling of Zuckerberg. I don't know if this had any kind of reference points for you. I mean, for me, it was a little bit of sort of Ben Stiller Goes Las Vegas. There were certain characters that I sort of would put in that mode, but I don't know if there were certain magicians that you had in mind or certain people you had in mind.
Wait, why is that?
Oh, for Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
I just think there's a kind of similar sort of, ladies' man, but yet there's a sort of nervousness about him, a sort of uncertainty, sort of bubbling. And, yeah.
I looked first at like David Blaine because my character is a street magician, so I thought, I should be like that, like very casual, but the director wanted something flashy and enigmatic, so David Blaine is not enigmatic. In fact, his whole persona is based on like being overly casual, so that when he does a trick, it's that much more impressive. So I look more at like David Copperfield, who also worked on the movie, who's very, kind of flamboyant and like a real showman.
You're in Ireland, so you're supposed to say Keith Barry for all that. That was just so you know.
Well, Woody Harrelson used Keith Barry because
okay.
Woody Harrelson plays like a mentalist, like a hypnotist, and I play like a David Blaine type, like a street magician.
Right.
So no, Keith Barry was used, like he was on set all the time and worked with Woody Harrelson on all of his mentalism stuff, but that was not my character's specialty, so I stayed away.
I like the fact that your character, J. Daniel Atlas, he has 52 tricks for the ladies. At one point it's sort of claimed. That was obviously a bit of typecasting then on your part. That's probably why they cast you, I think.
Yeah, right, just based on that. Yeah.
The opened huge in the US. It was 29.3 million over one weekend, which did one wonderful thing. It killed M. Night Shyamalan's career, so I want to thank you for that. But I wonder if the box office itself got you by surprise, because it got most of Hollywood by surprise that it opened so big.
I mean, I don't know. It's not like, it's like a big movie with flashy effects. It's not like about somebody on their deathbed, so I'm not like so surprised that people are liking it. I am, I mean, it's good. I mean, we all thought it was good when we're making it, so you kind of, you have high hopes for everything you do. Yeah, I mean, and people are really taking to it. I think the surprising thing is like people are going back to see it again, and I guess I can't say that that's even so surprising because it's the kind of movie that at the end you realize everything you had pieced together was wrong because there's this like there's twists and turns. So it's the kind of movie that you want to see again so that you can kind of like piece it together.
I spoke to you in October 2010, and as I said before the cameras rolled, very emotional. You have my picture above your bed, you're saying, which is understandable. Yeah. But at that time you hadn't been to sunny Ireland, and I'm guessing, given that this is just a junket visit, you're not really going to see much of this visit either.
No, I walked around Dublin yesterday for 15 minutes, but yeah, of course that's not enough to see a city.
That's about 20 minutes should do it. But
20 minutes in Dublin, they said, yeah. 35 in Leeds.
I should ask too, because you've channeled Zuckerberg and you're obviously very close still. Is he spying on us right now? Because I'm always kind of curious if these things are actually happening.
Does that happen?
I don't know. They say that the NSA are in cahoots with Google and Facebook. And
Oh,
all that.
really?
Every move is out there.
Oh, I just never open my mouth anymore.
It did strike me actually when I spoke to you for playing Zuckerberg that you had actually set up your own website, One Up Me, which initially I thought was a very conservative porn site, but that it's not. It's a wordplay site.
Why conservative porn site?
One Up Me, I think.
One Up Me. Oh, very cute. That's
go.
very good.
Thank you.
I never considered that, and wish I did.
But the funny thing is that side of life, I mean the sort of the fame side of it, it's not something that you're entirely. You've always said you're not entirely comfortable with. You got into acting because it gave you the chance not to be yourself. You had rules to play, somebody else. And I know that you played Jesse Eisenberg in a movie now just recently, and there's little moments that would sort of reflect that you are becoming a celebrity. But I'm guessing you're still not a sort of high-fiving red carpet kind of guy.
Oh. Yeah, it's inappropriate to do that because then they capture you in a weird, half frozen, putting your hand up in some kind of Nixonian way. I don't know. So yeah, I didn't. I mean, I don't think I'm so unique in that respect too. I mean, I don't know. I mean, not a lot of actors that are really great get into it because of that.
Well, it's funny, your sister, a few people watching this would have seen her in movies. She was a child actor, Hallie Kate. She's 6 years younger than you. She had, quite the career, and then she decided to give it up to become a lawyer. And as you said, she gave it up because she's a very focused, well-rounded person who has friends, which suggests that you stuck with acting because you're not very focused and well-rounded and all those things that she is.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime I meet somebody that's like kind of has it all together and is healthy and tells me they want to be an actor, I kind of think like, don't do it. And when I meet somebody who seems like really nutty and they say they want to be an actor, I say, good, go for it. You'll probably be really popular. Yeah. I don't know. It's a profession that plays with your emotions and requires you to be emotionally exposing. And if you've got nothing wrong with you, it's probably a little difficult to do that.
But you'll be 30 this year, and it just seems, for a 30-year-old or 29 at the moment, but you'll be 30 in October. You've had a huge amount of success, and you've made genuinely great movies along the way, which is probably the most important thing as opposed to success itself or box office or Oscar nominations and Golden Globes and all that. But the actual movies like The Squid and The Whale and Zombieland and Social Network, these are genuinely great movies. So there must be a part of you that it brings a certain amount of inner peace or a certain sort of satisfaction with where your life is at and what you've achieved.
No, because if you're like in something that is really good, that has a lot to do with a million other factors, and so it just kind of you feel the pressure of like it's like you have to be lucky or something.
But you didn't mess it up. You were one of the Beatles during that moment. You weren't the guy. You weren't Pete Best. They didn't have to get rid of you to make it great. You fit in.
I normally am compared to him, but I guess
you're Ringo. It's all right.
Thank you. Oh, good.
I'm just wondering, the very last thing is where the acting comes from. I know your mom, Amy, for 20 years sort of worked as a clown, which is an amazing kind of strange profession. Mm-hmm. Was that sort of the performer thing? Just sort of, I know Kerry, your sister, I think, is involved a little bit in this world too. Was that where that came from? I presume so.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see like the discipline of a performer. Like my mom would wake up very early and tune her guitar and play the piano and warm up her voice because she was performing at a birthday party. So I got to like understand the discipline it takes to do something that ultimately appears kind of like entertainment.
And now with your magic tricks, you can always fall back on that too. You'll have all the knowledge of the clowning and
magic, clowning,
rock and roll. You're sold for life, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. I better let you go,
Thanks
man.
a lot.
Love you too.